Hi, welcome back to the channel. If you ever wonder what it's like to be able to be completely self-sufficient when you're out camping with your horses in your horse trailer, I may have the solution for you. How to do solar on your horse trailer. This is a complete system. The solar panels are hard mounted on top of the roof. The controller's inside the trailer. I have two 100 amp hour batteries underneath the gooseneck where the batteries are normally located. And this system has allowed us to be completely off-grid for weeks at a time. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I went about mounting 300 watts of solar on the roof and the inverter inside the trailer and wiring everything to the factory system that's already there. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not a licensed professional at this. I do have electrical background, but do all this at your own risk. If you're not really comfortable with electricity, hire a professional to do it. That's always the best option to go. Your trailer manufacturer, your dealer you bought your trailer from, they're going to be the ones that know the systems very well. Here we got 105 and 3/4, and then 129 and 3/4. Just marking on both sides of it, so it's that way when I get the panel on there on panel 1 and 2, I'll mark on both sides. Now I'm going to mark the outside edge now. So I got 3 spots to locate off of that print, 105 and 3/4 and 129. Alright, so I got my 4 marks because I'm going to be putting a third panel here. Get them plopped down on the roof, and then I'll have a good idea what it's going to look like when they're mounted. Just got my brackets on, that brand there. Got them all mounted up. I put the bolts so the nuts are facing up inside here, just so there's nothing sticking out too low that could possibly hit the roof and wear through eventually. So I'm going to go ahead and get that one set in place next to the other one, and then I'll show you guys what that looks like. Like I said, I'm going to plan on having one more there. That's going to be here in a few days, because I'm going to put them in series, and then I'm going to run the roof grommet, or whatever you want to call it, will be down underneath here through the roof because it's closest to the edge. That's where I'm going to run the wires down that inside channel there inside the trailer, so I can run the wires along this channel here underneath with some zip ties and then keep them out of the way. Another reason I'm keeping them close to the hay rack, because I got the hay rack to come up here and sit on, stand on, and then when I need to clean those, or if I need to access anything, if I need to check wiring or anything like that, I have an easy platform to stand on here and work on them. I'm not running these all the way in right away because I want to pull them back up once I make sure I got them. Put some lap steel underneath the bracket first, and then set these down, run them through, and then I'll lap everything on top of it. So, and I want to make sure all the filings, metal shavings are off of there so they don't interfere with the seal. Obviously, because of the spacing on here, I was not able to use the actual holes because these supports are only about an inch, inch and a half wide, and they literally land right between the holes. So pull them all back out now and clean up all the metal shavings, put some rubbing alcohol down, clean up the roof and everything so it's nice and clean. And then I will go ahead and put the lap sealant down, which I have here. All right, here I'm just securing the wires up in this corner with some zip ties. They will get all the wires are going to be coming out on this side of the solar panel. So I'm going to have this panel wires on this side, this panel's wires on this side. So they're right next to each other. They can go underneath there and I can connect them together and then run the wires across that beam to the third panel and then down through underneath there where the roof gland will be. That's where things get messy. This is the stuff I got here. Lap sealant, self-leveling roof compound stuff. So I got them on there, and as you can see, I put enough in there where the lap sealant actually comes out around the seams. That means there's enough underneath there to go around all the hole, basically give it a cushion to sit on as well. Nice and squished out. Yeah. On to the next one. All right, I got both the panels screwed down now, and you can see the sealant is coming out all the way around both of them. All real nice. The outside. Now what I'll do is I'll go through and go over the top of the whole bracket so there's no seam around the outside is left unsealed basically. And I'll even go over the top of the screw heads. Okay, now that I have the panels installed, I'm going to get the roof gland installed up in this corner here. What I'm gonna do is take these out. These just unscrew out of here. And then this fitting comes apart. I'm gonna run this whole thing up each one of those wires, take one off for each wire, and get them pulled all up to the top so I don't forget to put them on. And then what I'm gonna do is run the wires through the holes and get that whole roof gland up into the top by these connectors. I'll get everything secured up so that it's all held together. And then I'm gonna punch my hole. I gotta measure from the back of the trailer again up here to where there's a support, not there, but there's a support underneath this part right here. And I'm gonna put it just in front of that. And that's where I'm gonna punch my hole, pull the wires down, run them along the inside edge of the trailer. Right there's the side door. That is the bathroom right on the other side of that wall. So, all right, I got the wire pulled in, thanks to my wife. Got it, oh wow, this up there, comes through the roof, somewhere right around here. And I got it just going along the top, all the way over there. I'll show you the other side. And from there, it drops in behind the wall and it goes down into here. So it comes in up there behind, goes all the way down through the wall, down through here, comes out up in there. Kind of see behind in there. It's right here. What I did was I hooked it to this long cable that I had. My wife helped me pull through that wall first, and then we were able to get it pulled down that way. So. Okay, so that was a little messy. It didn't come with screw holes in that gland for the roof, so I thought I could put it on without screwing it down. Obviously, as you can see, I had to put a couple screws in there on they didn't go through the gland, they went right next to it, kind of like a pin on both sides. And the pan head screw is big enough to like catch the lip and hold it down. I think those wires are too stiff or something. It just wasn't going to stay on there without it. So I feel better about that anyway. It's sealed up really good. Now I just need to finish up putting all the panels back on inside and the horse part. And then I can move on to start wiring it up inside. All right, got my panel back up there. Can't even tell. Small gap right there, just tiny. I'm gonna put a little bit of silicone in there, and this piece in the corner kind of got bent back from when I was pushing my hand up in there, so I'm just gonna fill that back in with silicone. It was silicone to begin with, but I'm just gonna fill it back in. All right, this is the controller I got, the Rover 20 amp MPP charger. So I went with the MPP-T charger because currently I'm running the PMW or PWM, and that's only allows, I think it only allows 25 or 30 volts to come into it for just the solar power. This one here can take 100 volts solar into it, which means I can run all three of my panels in series. That is why I switched over to this style. And I got the Bluetooth module with it because I can use the app on my phone, and it's very easy to see everything, how much battery is charged, how much solar is coming in. Here's the Bluetooth module. I'll mount that next to it. Here it is. I'm going to pull it out and get it in the trailer. So I got my first wire hooked up here. This is going to be the ground wire, which just goes all the grounds back there. That's going to come out the front, not here, but I'm going to punch a hole over here. All the wires will run out, but that's where I got the ground hooked up. Okay, so I got my positive wire there. Run through, I just zip tied it to the existing wires. So it's going to loop around behind it. Comes out here with the other ones. Do some labels on them so I knew which ones are which. Keep them organized before I get everything hooked up. So I'm going to push this thing back in place. I'm going to get it screwed in, and then I'll terminate my wire. So if you're wondering, this red wire here, this goes to my lithium battery charger for when I'm plugged in the shore power. I have this hooked up. This is the original inverter here, which I have disconnected. The wires are in here somewhere. Yeah, I'm taped up so they don't, yeah, it's back here. And then the breaker for it, I replaced the wire that goes to my lithium charger, which is tucked up in there. So I know y'all are probably looking at this where I'm installing it and you notice there's probably a toilet there. It's because there is. It's getting installed right here just because it's convenient, because that's there. Everything's here. I don't have to pull in a bunch of heavy cables all the way to the front, or I don't have to run solar cables all the way to the front. Everything's already here. The heavy wires run from the inverter back to the batteries anyway. So I'm just using the existing one. It's plenty heavy enough. It's 8 gauge. It's more than enough that this trailer is going to draw. It's on a 30 amp breaker, so we'll be plenty heavy enough wire from here to there. So all right, now I'm going to get a hole punched right here. I can put my wires through and start getting things terminated. What am I doing here? Battery negative. So we're going to get the battery negative. Right there. Battery positive. Here we go. Tug test. Okay, now I got some labels. I know what they are. I have them labeled behind there as well, but it doesn't hurt to put some extra labels on them. Keeps things a little more organized. Okay. Also, a side note, you always hook the battery up first to the solar charge controller. Also, these wires are not hooked to anything yet on the roof. I don't have the solar panels hooked up yet. I gotta do some wiring. Cool. That's nice. That looks good. I like it. Okay. Okay. Mounted my Bluetooth module up there. Just ran the wire down. Came out down here. Plugged it in. I had to take everything back out again because I had to get up behind there, but now it's up all the way. You can't see it. No wires. Only thing I gotta do is mount my fuse, because I forgot to do that. That's gonna go on the very bottom, right below there. That's gonna go between the battery and the solar charger. All right, up on the trailer. Finally have all 3 of the solar panels mounted up here. Wiring is done on top. I got the roof gland in, done. Everything's hooked up, secured, wires are out of the way. I'll show you how I ran everything. So there's the panels, all 3 of them. All hooked in series. So plus to minus, plus to minus, plus to plus, minus to minus. There's that. I just got them zip tied up. Connectors underneath here. Got some extra cable there. Ran the wires down here. Let's see, I got them tucked underneath, so you can't see them from the top, but you can see them all underneath there. Out of the way, kind of protected a little bit. Yeah, that's what it looks like on the roof. up in the hay rack. Obviously I got hay up here because we're going camping in a few days, so I'm outside right now. You can see how cloudy it is. It's kind of been raining on and off, but even with this amount of clouds, I'm able to pull 5 to 6 amps of battery charging on the lithium. I'm getting around 60 to 70 volts of solar, and it's right around like 1.5 amps of solar, which when it comes into the controller, because it's such a higher voltage, reduces down to the 12 or 13 volts it charges at. You get a lot higher amperage. So even in this gloomy weather, I'm pulling around 5 amps of charging for my batteries, which I have 2 100 amp hour lithium batteries in there. So with this setup, I could literally go endlessly just about and never have to worry about bringing a generator along, never have to worry about the batteries going dead. As long as I'm outside and the panels have access to sun, I should be fine. So yeah, I'll take you inside and show you the final setup. I did install my fuse right underneath the controller, and I also added a couple nice little 12 volt socket and another USB, like 3 different USB plugs. All right, we're inside. There is the fuse I mounted. Same brand as the controller. There are those extra plugs I was telling you about. 12 volt socket. I use that to charge up my Jackery. And then there is the other one. There's 2 USB-Cs and a USB-A. It does have an on-off switch, but pretty much just stays on all the time. So also here is my, next to the fridge, here is my power setup. Basically I have some more of these. Actually, all 3 of them are pretty much the same, and this one's got some more. This is where it's got a nice ledge here. I plug in all my camera batteries, cell phone batteries, whatever I need to charge up here. So if this is something you're looking into doing, I'd highly recommend it. So a little bit about how well this system has worked for us. We've had the whole year now of all of our camping trips we've been on to really test it out and see how it works. We've had very good luck. We've been out 2 different times for 10 to 12 days straight. Never had to hook into shore power. We never hooked up to a generator, nothing. Our batteries were able to stay completely charged. We were running lights all afternoon into the evening. We're running the roof vent on here, lights in there, water pump running. We'd shower every other day. I mean, never had an issue. The thing would always be charged up every day. We were even running the radio. It's one of those systems that once you do this, you don't ever have to worry about it again. So if you're looking for a way that you can pretty much hook up to your horse trailer, go camping, and never have to worry about dragging out a generator, finding somewhere to camp that has a plug-in that you can plug in your trailer, this is something you probably want to look into doing. It's invest the time, invest the money in quality stuff, and put this stuff on, hard mount it, wire it in, you're done. It's very low maintenance. There's 0 issues. And it works great. I'd highly recommend doing this if you're somebody like me that goes out and travels to these out in the middle of nowhere camps that they're not even a campground half the time. We just pull off into a field or a small parking area or something, and that's where we camp, completely off grid. It's my style of camping because there's a lot less people.